President Trump just announced an update on the tariffs that he imposed. Learn what countries are affected and how this will affect the economy. Funding to Ohio libraries is changing. The latest from Kent's Public Library on what the future will look like.
The Trump administration canceled 15 students' visas this week. Find out to see which universities have been affected.
And the U.S. dollar's strength is at its lowest in 6 months. All these stories and more as Kent Stater TV News starts right now.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Good Wednesday evening, Portage County, and welcome to Kent Stater TV News. I'm Lillian Drabick.
And I'm Claire Duber. Thank you so much for joining us.
Last week was a proposed change as to how public Ohio libraries will be funded.
Our reporter Sydney Brown has more on the story. Hi, Sydney.
Good evening, Ohio. Lawmakers are listening to public libraries who are facing potential state funding cuts on the Ohio biennial budget. I have what's at stake for the Kent Free Library with changes to their funding. Ohio lawmakers are choosing to support public libraries for now.
It's not a huge increase. It certainly doesn't keep up with the inflation that we're seeing for everything that all of our expenses take up, but at least it's not a cut, so we're very thankful for that.
The cut the Kent Free Library Director is referring to is a change to the Ohio Public Library Fund, proposed last week, where libraries could have been
completely decimated.
Successful testimonies of library proponents convinced lawmakers Tuesday to adjust their biennial budget to give a flat amount to libraries instead of a percentage of the general revenue fund. And residents are still concerned about what a cut would do to the libraries across the state.
It's obscene to me that it could be even considered.
The Public Library Fund supports 60% of the city's libraries' operating revenues annually. But the fund for Ohio libraries is at the same level as the year 2000, without adjustments for inflation.
Trying to stay positive. I hope that, we get the money that we need to continue doing what we can and then to also expand our collection.
These changes to Ohio Public Library funding are still less than what Governor Mike DeWine proposed in his budget. And these conversations are happening amid National Library Week.
I think a lot of people assume that the library just has books and that's all we do. And sometimes I even see comments on our social media, oh, I didn't know people even still use the library, or why do you need to use a library? You can get books online. But in addition to books, we're so much more.
There's lots of cute little study nooks like the one that I'm in right now. Really nice hangout spot in between classes.
While lawmakers continue deliberations, this year's National Library Week stands out.
And certainly wouldn't be able to afford to buy all the books I read that I buy from the library. So it's a very important part of my life.
The Ohio House was in session today, but they have not come to a decision. Once they do pass the budget plans, it will move to the Senate and Governor DeWine. Sydney Brown, Kent Stater TV. Thanks, Sydney. For all the students in the College of Public Health, there will be a career fair tomorrow in Moulton Hall. The fair will be from 12 to 4 p.m. and will host booths from over 40 top health professionals and healthcare organizations. Students are asked to bring their resume, flashcard ID, and come with any questions for the future of their professional careers.
Tomorrow evening from 4 to 6, the Design Innovation Hub is recognizing small businesses. This event will allow students and alumni entrepreneurs to showcase businesses they have been working on. Food and drinks will also be provided.
To anyone looking to get more involved within the local community, there will be a volunteer recruitment fair tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. This event will take place in the Reed Memorial Library, where Portage County residents can look at volunteer opportunities and network with other community members and nonprofit leaders who are passionate about making changes close to home and beyond.
Your first forecast on Kent Stater TV.
This past week, we saw a large pattern of rain and even snow as temperatures dipped into the mid-20s yesterday. Not to be the bearer of bad news, but that pattern will be continuing for just a bit longer and a little bit less severe. Right now, looking outside our windows at Kent, Ohio, it is currently 45 degrees, only feeling like 43 in comparison. That chill is still very much in the air, but the wind is not compensating for that, as I usually do have to share. The wind is only going southbound at 5 miles per hour, and the current moon phase is in waxing gibbous, as our full moon will be this Saturday night. Going into my forecast for tomorrow, it'll be pretty similar to what it is today. Giving you a little bit of an overview, it's going to be a high of 48 degrees, pretty similar to what we had today. There will be early showers in the morning and a cloudy afternoon. There is a chance of showers later on in the day, but that chance is going to decrease as the day goes on. Wind will be going south by southeast at 8 miles per hour, and your sunset is at 8 p.m. Now, to give you a little bit of a detailed view on what that day is going to look like for you, if you have early classes at 8 a.m., it's going to feel like 32 degrees and there will be an 83% chance of rain. So be careful and bring an umbrella. By noon, it's going to be 43 degrees, but still only feel like 39. And as I had mentioned, the temperatures are going up and that percentage of rain is going down, so it will be a little bit less severe in the morning as it is in the afternoon. And with that forecast in mind, I want you to stay tuned as I will be taking you across the state of Ohio, as well as give you a bird's eye view into the weather for your weekend.
Thanks, Sophia. It's a big day for Ohio as 29 new laws that were signed into law in January by Governor DeWine went into effect today. Out of the 29, there are 6 notable laws that will affect schools in Ohio, including one that will require schools to implement a policy that allows students to be released during the school day for religious classes. More laws including criminalizing sextortion and bans the tracking of firearm purchases.
This afternoon, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine announced the state will allocate $3 million to law enforcement agencies to combat illegal drug activity. According to a press release, the 2025 Ohio Drug Law Enforcement Fund will provide funding to 38 local law enforcement offices. The program has allocated over $20 million to local drug task forces in Ohio since 2019.
The pilot who was killed in the Tuscarawas small plane crash last Tuesday has been identified. The coroner used DNA testing to identify Orville Evans, a 62-year-old man who was from New Philadelphia. His death was ruled to be the cause of blunt trauma and thermal injury. Evans was the only person on board the plane when it went down in a field in Mill Township, and the cause is still being investigated.
A recall on peanuts has been initiated in Ohio and Illinois due to the possible presence of cashews. The recalled peanuts were distributed to various Heinen's grocery stores from October 24th to April 4th of 2025. To see if you may have bought the product, you can check the best if used by date stamp at the bottom.
iPhones are the next target of price increases due to the tariffs that the Trump administration has imposed. Learn more about why the prices will increase.
The Trump administration is now facing another lawsuit. Stay tuned for more details.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. Planting seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic. To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall. And make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Your community.
Your stories.
A big announcement has been made today about the future of the American economy.
For more with consumer news, we now go to our own Gage Wellman. Gage, what do you have for us?
Yes, thank you, Lillian and Claire. This weekend has been abundant in consumer and economic news, and here is how it's changing. Starting on over in our nation's capital, President Trump announcing today that his administration is putting a 90-day freeze on tariffs that his office had previously hoped to impose. The president is announcing this on his Truth Social app, that the tariffs are on pause and that reciprocal taxes on China will be lowered by 10%. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told reporters that the pause comes from global nations wanting to negotiate. Trade tariffs are not the only topic being discussed. President Trump says that he will soon enforce major tariffs on imported pharmaceuticals. Now, in the years past, the United States did not enforce tariffs on finished drugs due to a World Trade Organization agreement from the mid-90s. This is coming on the heels of other tariffs that Trump hopes will energize American manufacturing. Today, the strength of the American dollar has fallen to a 6-month low. An index that measures the dollar against other nations' currencies was down 0.9% this morning. Now, the strength of the dollar does have to do with new tariffs that were proposed that shook consumer confidence in U.S. policymaking and governmental affairs. The retailer known as Walmart has pulled its financial guidance for the year due to uncertainty around the impact of recently announced duties on foreign importers. In a news release today, Walmart announcing that the company wants to remain flexible as tariffs are implemented. Now, despite the big box store pulling its income guidance, Walmart does expect an increase in sales. Now, the introduction of sweeping tariffs has sparked debate on how much products would cost if they were made in America. However, not all products can be made cheaper in the States. For example, iPhones, they would cost more if made in America as opposed to Asia because the production system to quickly make iPhones already exists there. Some estimates suggest that it would cost $30 billion to move 10% of Apple's supply to America. Now for updates on tariffs, taxes, and more, head to kentstater.com. For KSTV, I'm Gage Wellman.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm, this is your KSTV weather.
Welcome back. Behind me, I have temperatures across the state of Ohio, and everyone is feeling the effects of this freeze that we are currently under. You can look over here at Toledo is at 39 degrees, the coldest of the bunch, and the further you go south, the higher the temperatures obviously are going to go. The Akron-Canton area, Columbus, and Pittsburgh all in that low 40s, high 50s area, with Athens just hitting the 52-degree mark, as well as Cincinnati hitting 46 degrees. Now, going into the northeastern part of the state, you're going to see very similar temperatures as well. Everyone jumping around that 45-degree mark as the sun's going down. They're going to be seeing similar patterns of temperatures as we continue into the week. And speaking of continuing into the week, here's my forecast for you. Tomorrow, we've got a solid chance of rain, a high of 48 degrees and a low of 35. And as the weekend continues, the temperatures are going up. And you're even going to see the sun come out starting on Monday. However, it's going to be a really high temperature on Monday, but there is a 45% chance of afternoon showers. This is something that could increase or decrease as the weekend continues. And then in Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to see more sun. However, the clouds are going to be imminent, as well as colder temperatures just like today. And for more updates on these temperatures, you can always tune in right here with us at KSTV. From the Franklin Hall studio, I'm Sophia Sonato.
Thanks, Sophia. Let's expand our focus to the rest of the United States.
For more with national news, we now go to Lexi Blatnick. Lexi, what can you tell us?
Hi, Lily and Claire. It seems like there's something new every day within the nation, with international students' visas being rescinded to lawsuits against the president. Here's what's new across the country. President Trump's ban on the Associated Press is no longer standing. Judge Trevor McFadden ruled that the ban on the Newswire is unconstitutional, citing the First Amendment. The ban took place after the organization refused to adopt Trump's renaming of the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America. Though the AP hasn't been assigned a pool slot by the White House, the Newswire remains eligible for events. And the Trump administration is facing another lawsuit. The American Library Association took legal action against the president Monday. The ALA claims the Department of Government Efficiency's actions are illegal, referring to the department's removal of grants to libraries and museums. The association's suit is asking for a judge for a preliminary ruling to reverse DOJ's actions. Washington University confirmed the Trump administration canceled 15 students' visas this week. The university learned about the visas when the school ran a status check on the students. Seattle and Gonzaga University also reported that international students' visas were revoked. Last week, President Todd Dykin said that 4 students' visas had been taken away here at Kent State. The Department of Homeland Security is changing the way it screens immigrants before determining their status. The DHS says that it will look at immigrants' social media for anti-Semitism before granting them a visa. This order comes after the Trump administration announced it will hold federal funding from universities that have not fought against anti-Semitism on campus. Yesterday, New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham signed an order that allows the National Guard personnel to help the Albuquerque Police Department. The governor's office says the request is a result of the fentanyl epidemic and increased crime rates among young people. The National Guard will help with traffic control, watch over buses, and provide transportation for prisoners. Albuquerque Police Chief Harold Medina says that crime rates are down in 2025, and he hopes the National Guard personnel will help. For KSTV, I'm Lexi Blatnick.
Thanks, Lexi. Cookie lovers and fans of the Kardashians, watch out for the new release of Crumble's latest star-studded team-up. Stay tuned to catch a whiff of the tasty new flavors.
The Cleveland Cavaliers played the Bulls last night with a chance to clinch the #1 seed. Find out if they secured the top of the East.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
It's pretty.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
This is your Kent Stater TV Sports Report.
A new Ken doll has been announced, and it is in the likeness of NBA star LeBron James. The doll was made to recognize his impact on the community as well as the fashion world.
The doll is to be released at midnight on April 14th and is to be part of the Barbie signature Ken Ambassadors and retail at a price of $75. The doll will be available at select Target stores, Target.com, Amazon, Walmart, and Mattel Creations.
Well, for more with all things sports, we now go to our very own Jordan Hiles.
What do you have for us tonight, Jordan?
Thanks, Lillian and Claire. It's been an exciting time to be a sports fan. Let's get into the action. The Kent State lacrosse completed their non-conference season today, falling to Louisville 17-3. Although the Flashes fell short, sophomore keeper Sydney Davis set a career high of 14 saves. And Allie Lee, Lizzie London, and Zeta Crumpton were the three to knock in a goal. The Flashes will return to Dick Stadium on Sunday for a matchup versus Eastern Michigan. Kent State baseball is out in Columbus for a midweek showdown with Ohio State. The Flashes ride an 11-game win streak behind a MAC leading offense fueled by seniors Jake Casey and Hayden Yatsak. Starting on the mound will be Karen Coffey. As of now, Kent is leading 8-3 in the top of the 7th. In their home opener, the Cleveland Guardians edged out the Chicago White Sox 1-0. The decisive moment came in the bottom of the 9th when Nolan Jones drew a bases-loaded walk, forcing in the game's only run. Starting pitcher Ben Lively allowed for just 2 hits in 5 innings, but Emmanuel Clase out of the bullpen secured the win. The two are back at it right now. Tune into Cleveland Guardians Network to catch the action. Luka Doncic returns to Dallas tonight for the first time since being traded to the Lakers. In tribute to the former star, the Mavericks are flooding the stadium with shirts on every seat reading, "Thanks for everything," in Slovenian, honoring Doncic's legacy. You can tune in to ESPN to watch the action. It was a tough time to be a Chicago sports fan when the Guards coming out on top. Let's get into the Cavs versus the Bulls. Max Strus starts things off at the top of the key, passes it over to Evan Mobley, and that is a drain. Dean Wade off the rim, turns it over, a bounce pass to Matas Buzelis to hammer it home. Back to the Cavs, Darius Garland's bringing it down, it's up, and that's a deep shot at 63-45. Quick pass to DeAndre Hunter, he's up and he is hanging on. Garland, pump fake, pass to Hunter, back to Garland, that is up and in. Sam Morrell, he's getting some action, it's off the rim, but Mobley isn't letting that past him. There's a rough pass by Buzelis, leads to a turnover. Strus making his way down, but it's Hunter. He's there to finish the job. Here's Garland showcasing his skill. It's up and he ends the night. Cleveland, they remain on top, but we always knew that. The final score, 135-113. The Cleveland Cavaliers will face the Indiana Pacers on April 10th. The Cavs, leading the Eastern Conference, boast the NBA's top offense, averaging 122.3 points per game, led by Donovan Mitchell. This matchup is crucial for both teams as they approach postseason, with the Cavaliers aiming to maintain the top spot and the Pacers looking to solidify their playoff positioning. That's all of the action I have for you tonight. For KSTV, I'm Jordan Hiles.
Uber just announced their 9th annual Lost and Found Index. Stay tuned to find out what some of these items include. Some may surprise you.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad! Okay, here we go, throw it! Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
Jimmy can't sing. And Tommy can't dance. So we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
If you have ever left anything in an Uber, you are not alone. The 9th annual Lost and Found Index just came out, and some of the lost items are quite unique, like a mannequin head with real human hair, a chainsaw, 10 live lobsters, and a Ghostbuster ghost trap. The more common items left behind were phones, wallets, and keys, with the count of phones left behind being 1.7 million.
The Kardashians have launched a collection with Crumble Cookie. Each sister has created their own special cookie, including Kourtney's flourless chocolate cake, Kris's classic yellow layer cake, Kim's snickerdoodle crumb cake cookie, Kylie's pink confetti sugar cookie, and more.
Those all sound fantastic.
They sound really good.
I'm hoping to get the cookie dough flavor.
Yeah.
I
Do you
think
have
that's
a favorite?
Kendall's, right?
Yeah. One of them. There were so many.
There's so many.
I lost track. But who's your favorite Kardashian?
I don't really keep up with the Kardashians that much. I'm sorry, but I do like Khloe.
Okay. I like Khloe a lot too.
Okay. Who's yours?
I think Kim. She's just always been my favorite.
All right, all right.
Yes.
What do you think of the LeBron doll?
I think I'll be getting one.
You
I
think
mean,
so?
I just want one to have it. Like,
right, just that you have a LeBron Ken doll.
Yeah, I thought it would be more than $75. But
Really?
Yes. Like at least, I don't know, maybe 200. But I'm sure with resellers, that's what the price will be.
Of course. Well, that is all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us.
For updates on all these stories and more, visit our website at kentstater.com. I'm Claire Duber.
And I'm Lillian Dravick. Have a great evening, everyone.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine. And I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart, that there's room for me and Mom. When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns, like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, you know, it's gonna be cool.
She's my superhero.
Good job, Kitty Cat.
When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. We know how that turned out. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens? Fact, more than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping, and 80% say their first e-cigarette was flavored. Vaping is harmful to developing brains. The reason we think vaping is safe? Marketing. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying.